Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Om Ajnanatimrandasya Gnananjanasalankaya चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं देवतारं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यईश्वरं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Reading from Krishna book, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, chapter 12. I'll read the last two paragraphs. And, this is the title Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the killing of the Aghasura demon. And then we'll read something from Gopal Campu, interesting pastimes of the same but at a different level, and from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Maharaj Parikshit, who was engaged in hearing the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna, who saved the life of Maharaj Parikshit while he was in the womb of his mother, became more and more interested to hear about him. And thus he questioned the sage Sukadeva Goswami, who was reciting Srimad Bhagavatam before the king. King Parikshit was a bit astonished to understand that the killing of the Aghasura demon was not discussed for 1 year. Until after the boys attained the Paukanda age, Maharaj Parikshit was very inquisitive to learn about this. But he was sure that such an incident was due to the working of Krishna's different energies. Generally, the Kshatriyas or administrative class are always busy with their political affairs and they have very little chance to hear about the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna. But while Parikshit Maharaj was hearing these transcendental pastimes, he considered himself to be very fortunate because not only was he hearing Krishna's pastimes, but he was doing so from Sukadeva Goswami, the greatest authority on Srimad Bhagavatam. Thus, being requested by Maharaj Parikshit, Sukadeva Goswami continued to speak about the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna in the matter of his form, qualities, fame, and paraphernalia. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of 12th chapter of Krishna, the killing of the Aghasura demon. Let's first describe the beauty of Lord Sri Krishna by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's description. And then we'll go into the Rupa Goswami is describing. Asman Urdhva Madhurya Taranga Amruta Varidhi Jangama Stavara Ullasi Rupa Gopendra Nandana. The beauty of Sana Maharaj Nanda is incomparable. Nothing is higher than his beauty. Nothing can equal it. His beauty is like the waves in the ocean of nectar. The beauty is attractive both for moving and non-moving objects. Kandarpa Koti Arubdha Rupa Sobha Nirajya Padabja Nakana Chalasya Putrapi Adrusta Suta Romya Kanter Janam Param Nanda Sutasya Vakshe. I shall relate the supreme meditation upon Lord Sri Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. The tips of the toes of his lotus feet reflect the beauty of the bodies of the unlimited millions of cupids, and his bodily lust has never been seen or heard of anywhere. Such a beauty is the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna's. Ayam Nayana Nandita Dandita Pravara Pundarika Prabho Prabhati Nava Jaguda Jyuti Vidam Vipitambara Aranyaj Pari, sorry. परिस्क्रिया दमित दिव्य वेशा धरो हरिन मणि मनोहर द्युतिवीर उज्ज्वलांगो हरि. The beauty of Krishna's eyes surpasses the beauty of white lotus flowers. His yellow garment surpasses the billions of fresh decorations of kumkuma. His ornaments of selected forest flowers subdue the hankering for the best of the garment. And his bodily beauty possesses mind, attracting splendor greater than jewels known as Marakata money, emeralds. This is from Vedagda Madhava spoken by Purnamasi. So you can understand. Although, and Krishna is saying, although my beauty defeats the beauty of 10 million cupids, although it is unequaled, unsurpassed, and although it gives pleasure to the three worlds, seeing Radharani gives pleasure to my eyes. कोटि काम जिनी रूप यद्यपि अमार असमूर्ध माधुर्य साम्य नहीं आर मोर रूपे अप्यायिता हया त्रिभुवना राधार दर्शने मोरा जुड़ाय नयना. This is Krishna statement. So we can understand the loving exchanges. Beauty of Krishna is four extraordinary qualities not possessed by Lord Narayana, the goddess of fortune. Lakshmi always desires his company. Narayana haite Krishnera asadharana guna ataiva Lakshmira Krishne Krishna anukshana. Lord Narayana has 60 transcendental qualities over and above. These Krishna has four extraordinary transcendental qualities absent in Lord Narayana. These four qualities are one is wonderful pastimes which are compared to an ocean, which is Leela Madhuri. Number two, his association in the circle of supreme devotees in conjugal love, the gopis. This is, Prema Madhuri. Then third, he is playing on the flute whose vibration attracts the three worlds. This is Venu Madhuri. Number four, his extraordinary beauty which surpasses the beauty of the three world Lord Krishna's beauty is unequaled and unsurpassed. This is the Rupa Madhuri. So then these were four Madhuris. This is the out of 64 qualities, only four. These four extra qualities only Lord Krishna has. No one else has. This is the superiority of Lord Shri Krishna. मधुरा हईते सुमधुरा ताहा हईते सुमधुरा ताहा हईते अति सुमधुरा अपनारे एक कने व्यापे सबे त्रिभुवने दसदिक व्यापे यारा पुरा. The beauty of Krishna's smile is the sweetest feature of all. His smile is like a full moon that spreads its rays throughout the three worlds. Golok Vrindavana, the spiritual sky of the Vaikunthas, and Devi Dham, the material world. Thus, Krishna's shining beauty spreads in all 10 directions. His slight smiling and fragrant illumination are compared to camphor, which enters the sweetness of his lips. That sweetness is transformed and enters into space as vibration on the holes of his flute. Smita Kirana Sukar Pure Paise Adara Madure Sei Madhu Mataya Tribhuane Vamsi Chidra Akase Tara Guna Sabda Paise Dwani Rupe Pana Pariname. See the beautiful description. Nowhere you can find this description other than Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sound of Krishna's flute spreads in four directions. Even though Krishna vibrates his flute within his universe, its sound pierces the universal covering and goes to the spiritual sky. Thus, the vibration enters the ears of all inhabitants. It especially enters Golok Vrindavan Dham and attracts the minds of the young damsels of Rajabhumi, bringing them forcibly to where Krishna is present. See Dwani Chaudi ke Daya, Anda Bedi Vaikunte Yaya, Bale Paise Jagater Khane, Saba Makta Yagla Kari, Balat Kare Ane Dari, Visheshata Yotir Gane. No, read from the Gopal Campu. This is from the destruction of the Vatsasura. As on previous days, the talks began in the early morning. Snigdha Kanta spoke. After describing their pastimes while they were extremely young, we will describe the pastimes at the end of their tender Komara age. In my heart, I worship Krishna and Balram's age of Komara, in which they gave up drinking breast milk, in which their limbs became well formed, in which their restlessness became prominent. Restlessness uh, became prominent and their long eyes trembled during play, during which they contentedly laughed and were absorbed in interesting pastimes, during which they became the source of the pastimes for all their friends and strongly desired to see the calves. Balrama was white with blue cloth, and Krishna was blue with yellow cloth. They became skillful at tying the milking ropes and at rattling the milk fails. They were fickle in playing and imparted various emotions of love to their friends. They gradually learned to trust themselves. With efforts, he put on the cloth given by his mother and thinking he could tie it, rejected his mother's help. He became embarrassed and only being able to half dress himself and would put on his clothes as quickly as possible. All these details are not there in the other books. When Nanda would go out with the cows, Krishna and Balram would go with him and wander about in all directions. The boys would sit on the lap of Nanda or all the people who came to the forest out of affection for them and would ask about the objects in the forest, giving joy to all. Saying boldly, I will go first. Though forbidden to do so, they would take two, four, or six cows and herding them in the front, go up playing. Incessantly laughing, they would run while herding cows and bulls and would stop them by grabbing their horns. They would stop five animals at a time. When some days had passed and mealtime had passed, Yashoda began scolding Nanda with affection. Are you not doing something unprecedented by taking these two boys to the forest? When Nanda asked permission from Yashoda and Rohini for the boys to go to the forest, the mothers refused, causing the two boys to feel cheated. They became shy and sorrowful. Being prevented, the two boys cried with anxious hearts. One time they secretly departed in order to join their father and give joy to their companions. But not recognizing the right path, they met in a pasturing ground outside of Raja and began playing like herds of calves. Understanding the active nature of the boys, Nanda and Yashoda again considered with minds fearful in order that they could preserve happiness. Since the two boys cannot remain without the association of the cows, let them take care of the calves at a place close to Vraja. Privately considering the matter with his brothers, who knew mantras and finding an auspicious day through priests, he had the boys begin herding the calves with the chanting of the auspicious mantras such as Punyahavachana. That Punyahavachana is generally done for everything. Before you sing, this is first Vachana. Especially even when the mothers, after the pregnancy, they deliver the baby, they are supposed to go through this Punyahavachana before they go anywhere outside of the house. This should be done. Otherwise, it is contaminated. It's not a good thing. And so that's what is called Punyahavachana. The great gods happily gave their young boys the duty of protecting the calves. The two boys appeared beautiful after being bathed, dressed, and fed by their mothers while holding sticks, milking ropes, flutes, and buffalo horns. When leather shoes were brought for him, he refused them, saying, No, no, using them would be a blow to the dharma of respecting the cow. Seeing Krishna act in this way, Balram also rejected the leather shoes. Considering the shower of nectar from those feet, the earth removed all the thorns from that place and made the surface into dust fine like pollen by having the cow's hooves break it into small pieces so that Krishna would wander with his feet in Vrindavana. In this way, Vrindavana, free of insect pests and thorns, is praised in Harivamsa. Harivamsa is another book where this is described. With the appearance of the fine footprints of Krishna's lotus feet everywhere, everyone became filled with bliss. I will now return to the present topic. When the boys departed for herding the cows at the auspicious moment, the servants who defeated Devatas and caused all auspiciousness, carrying ingredients like splendid betel nut, colorful umbrellas, chamaras, and silk cloth, followed after the boys and experienced indescribable inner happiness. Starting with their mother and father at every door, the excellent woman offered great wealth and performed Aratika with jewels shining like lamps. They sprinkled the boys with fragrant flowers and glorified them with auspicious songs. They satisfied the boys with a profusion of befitting sweet words. With wide eyes, they saw the boys in front of them. The two boys then departed after offering respect to the elders. While experiencing the skill of countless sounds of musical instruments, the Devatas performed the same activities. Dressed in blue and yellow cloth, Krishna and Balram appeared glorious among the children and calves as they played using flutes, canes, leaves, horns, ropes, balls, and wooden puppets. Looking at the boys in the distance with tenderness, the pious elders then returned home. After going some distance, Krishna and Balram and the boys first let the calves wander freely and then they put them in a group and brought them into a place filled with fresh grass. They boys played there until lunchtime. The two boys played their flutes, scattered fruits about, and went here and there, making sounds with their ankle bells imitating bulls. They fought with each other, winning against the opponent. With great affection, taking support of friends, they fought each other with great noise. Having the cows eat the grass and drink water, Krishna and Balram then inspected all of them. Among the cows, he hugged one with his arms to relieve its itching and touching its forehead with his own. See this. This is the personal attention. How much personally Lord Krishna is serving the cows. We can understand from here how much he loves. So much. So that they also very much reciprocate like human beings with Lord Krishna. They talk to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna understands their affection and mood. He starts either playing flute, or he will call the names, or he will go and cuddle them. So all these things are there with Krishna's intense affection. Having the calves eat the grass and drink water, Krishna and Balram then inspect all of them. Among the cows, he hugged one with his arms to relieve its itching. And touching its forehead with his own, he said, "If you want to go to your mother, I will arrange that." With such useless words, he satisfied the calves. After the two splashed water on their friend, they put on special forest clothing and wandering about became astonished on seeing the wonderful animals and birds. When the two boys imitated the sounds of an animal, that animal would approach them. When they imitated the roaring of lions or tigers, seeing the animals became frightened, they started mocking these songs. Happy because women sent by their mothers arrived with lunches at noon. Krishna quickly called his friend by playing his flute, whose notes sounded like human words, in order to give them bliss. When they all gathered, the women honored them, put them in lines, and had them sit down, placing Krishna and Balrama in the center. Since the boys desired to eat, the women then they served the food in the proper order. For fun, some of the boys criticized the food. They argued with the women, and some of the women answered back. After the amusement of hearing and conversation, a qualified nurse spoke to Krishna when he seemed to refuse the food in order to give pleasure to the servant boys who would obtain the rejected food. Carefully, I have brought drinks and delicious food. Rohini has carefully prepared it and sent me. Yashoda has repeatedly ordered me that you should taste the food. You should please us there by three. You please us three by eating. After joyfully taking lunch with friends like Rama and Dama, Krishna performed Achaman, and the nurse gave him a golden box filled with camphor flavored betel. She said, "Oh child, please follow your mother's orders and giving up your childish behavior and quickly return home." Going some distance, considering the boys engaged in playing, she turned her head and while flashing eyes said to the boys skillful at herding the cows, "Coward boys, you are the life of Yashoda. Please bring Krishna back quickly." Going some distance, considering the boys engaged in playing, she turned her head and while flashing eyes said to the boys skillful at herding the calves, "Cohort boys." Yeah, when the woman had gone, the boys fed the calves the tenderness grass mixed with flowers and headed slowly towards Braja while dancing, laughing, and playing. The sons of Brahma praised him from the sky, and Devatas showered flowers. Krishna took the path leading home. Along with Balarama and his friends, Krishna began walking back in order to bring the cows to their pens. Gathering the cows in a group, he became joyful at the success and seeing the beauty of the calves, experienced contentment. The inhabitants of Raja saw in front of them Krishna was approaching. As in the morning he was decorated auspiciously, he offered respect to his mother and father and joyful in their presence went to his house. After bathing, he put on fresh clothing, quickly eating. He then became happy by milking the cows, calling the calves by saying the mother's name. He laughed as the calves scurried to their mothers. Servant brought the abundant milk to the house. Coming to the house, he pleased his mother and then offered her respects. Going to the rooftop to the rest, he gave bliss to all, putting their sons to sleep. Mother, surrounded by servant boys, went to the man, began willing to do chores. Okay. They screamed, he has great affection for the cow. Krishna said, "You should go to your room." He spoke to another person. "Bring Vatsasura to me. He has caused disturbance to Indra." That person, showing courage with respect, brought Vatsasura. Vatsasura stood there in a humble state like a drop of water. As dirt dissolves in the presence of water, Kamsa's heart melted in the presence of Vatsasura. He whispered to Vatsasura, "My friend Vatsasura, please go to Nanda's Vraja, and then approach the boy who heard the calves and place, disguising yourself as a calf, attack him. Thinking one should follow the king's order, he went to the place as ordered. At a clean place on the bank of Yamuna called Vatsa Kridana, Krishna, who kills such demons while caring for the calf, saw the demon who was poisoned to the eyes. Wow, this is different. Vatsasra began proudly wandering about with his false motives. The cow sensed his presence by his smell at a place with abundant grass and became agitated at his sight. Seeing this condition, Krishna said to Balram in a solitary place, Elder brother, have you seen a calf near the water which did not come with the others in the morning? Balram said, no, brother. Krishna said, please examine things carefully. In Bhakti also we have to examine things carefully. Then only we can do proper attention to details. Any service. If you don't examine, then you just do it as a duty. If you have love, then you pay attention to every detail. You don't feed the same. Like when you cook for your children, you know what they like exactly, how they like. You make accordingly. Same thing in bhakti. You have to know what Lord Krishna likes, how he likes. Everything has to be done as per sadhu and shastra and guru. You can see how Krishna is also doing. Balrama said, it seems to have ferocious nature. Krishna said, oh, elder brother, it is a demon. Balrama said, that is true. Since he is suddenly looking at the calves and us with a cruel glance, Krishna said, if you give permission, I will kill him. Balrama said, I fear gossip from the people. Krishna said, on killing him, it will be clear that he is a demon. No one will criticize us. Balrama said with a smile, killer of the enemy, the demon is very devious. Slowly approach him by some trick. Krishna marked with Srivasa called the calves close with a stuttering sound and relieved the itching on their throats and bellies, playing and singing everywhere he spread joy. Thinking he had obtained his opportunity, the demon disguised as a calf approached Krishna to be scratched. Showing an affectionate nature, Krishna took the calf by its feet and tail and began twirling it around. By twirling the demon around many times, the demon lost his powers and devoted to his original form. In order to make fruits fall from the tree, he hurled the demon into a bale tree. The cowherd boy praised his grace, which was like that of a dancer, and his power of knowledge. The Devata showered laughter and smiles. One could not distinguish the shower of flowers from the shower of smiles. The Devatas, raising a wave of laughter with smiles, said, certainly the conclusions concerning Krishna, the killer of the demons, have been fulfilled. They expressed Krishna's thoughts as follows: I am a cowherd and I know about cows. If anyone hides himself, I can understand the enemy of the cow by inference. O enemy of the Devatas, disguised as a calf, how can you escape my hand? If you desire to be free when dead, you can have liberation. In protecting the calf, Krishna and Balram protected all people. To do this, they took their breakfast and then killed the demons. Krishna and Balram before lunch every day. This used to happen. Every day one demon. That is their, some sportive nature. Before the lunch. So that is another way to look at this killing of the demons. Krishna and Balram returned to their houses on the previous days, as on previous day. They told their friends to help killing the demon secret, since it would disturb the elders. When Kamsa heard through spies that Krishna had killed Vatsasra, he closed his eyes repeatedly. When he fainted, his ministers revived him with great difficulty. He then began to consult with his ministers. I have sent many skillful, proud people to injure Krishna, but none of them have been able to produce auspiciousness. Though I request them to fool him by my plans are thwarted, and they are all killed. What should I do? The minister said, O Lord, we can take the help of Bakasura, who is very powerful. Those who know him understand that he is the wickedest of all. Kamsa said, yes, he is my best friend. Please send him there. Cruel Bakasura, protected by Kamsa, the tormentor of devotees, knowing that Krishna would come to the place called Bakasthala, as the mountain of Nandiswara near a lake, fixed himself there like a moving peak of a mountain. Krishna would think that he was a mountain with a gaping mouth resembling a cave. The cowherd boys, along with the Krishna, gazed the calves, made them drink water and keeping them in the bank, drank water and bathed each other. Getting out of the water, they dressed themselves. They spread out to collect flowers to decorate themselves. While picking flowers, they saw Bakasura. The boys thought, is this a mountain in the distance? How has it come here? I see it as a peak. It looks as if Indra had struck it in anger with his thunderbolt. because Indra uses thunderbolt to break the mountain. I think it is not a mountain, but some type of an animal which must have done something wrong and is hanging its head. I think it is a crane with a sharp beak and frightening appearance. Krishna said, it looks like a bird but does not behave like a bird. It is some new type of a crane which is sitting here like a mountain. Desiring to come closer to it, Krishna began to speak with deceptive words. As a baby snake, poisonous even to touch, approach a frog out of curiosity. Lotus said Krishna, surrounded by the boys holding raised sticks, approached the beak of the crane as if did not know about the demon, though he actually knew. As a frog tries to swallow a young snake, Bakasura tried to swallow Krishna but could not close his mouth. Oh, by this action, which was like a dense darkness covering light, he caused a great disturbance to Balarama and Sridhama and other cowherd boys. Just as Balarama, though knowing Krishna's strength, experienced pain when Krishna went to deliver Rukmini. He experienced pain on seeing Bakasura's action, since prema includes within it all other emotions. Since Krishna was like a blazing fire in his throat, Bakasura spit him out quickly. And Balarama was seeing, watching, and then he was in pain because Krishna is being swallowed. Since Krishna would burn his insides, the demon understood that it would be impossible to swallow him. Like a fool, Bakasura tried to squeeze him with the tip of his beak. But just as Bhima killed Jarasandha, or just as a child uproots a bamboo tree, by his unlimited strength, Krishna destroyed Bakasura's beak using his hands and then killed him. When Bakasura swallowed Krishna, the boys and Balrama fainted. When he spit out Krishna, they became conscious. Natural prema does not give regard to others. The devatas and the boys became jubilant. When the killer of Vatsasura killed Bakasura, the devatas began dancing and playing musical instruments, picking jasmine flowers from the Nandana garden in a great joy. They showered these flowers continuously, observing Krishna's intention and looking on in surprise. They laughed at Bakasura. Oh fool, when you tried to swallow me with your beak, I helped you. If all your limbs were torn apart, what fault do I have? When Krishna emerged from the baka, the boys immediately regained their life. How can one describe their tears, trembling, choked voices, and change of complexion? With great excitement, they immediately went to the lake and bathed. Leaving the place and taking the calves, they departed for their houses. Returning to their houses, they described the actions of Bakasura and how Krishna killed him. On hearing the true description, the people first became frightened, with limbs burning and then moistened as if devastation would take place. Then their hair stood on end. This reaction is not unsuitable since they began to release the news sweet as nectar. First disturbed and then joyful, they gathered together and went to Nanda's house. Weeping and seeing, touching Krishna's lotus face, they talked among themselves about all the demons killed, including Bakasura. What pious activities have this child and his father performed in past lives? What offenses have the demons committed? For otherwise, why would Krishna kill them? Because Nanda and others are appearing in this world, experience bliss, they are not described in terms of material existence. Sukadeva also has said this. इति नंदादयो गोपा कृष्ण राम कथां मुड़ा कुर्वन्तो रममानश्च ना विदन् भव वेदनाम्. In this way, all the cowherd men headed by Nanda Maharaj enjoyed topics about the supreme, but the pastimes of Krishna and Balram with great transcendental pleasure, and they could not even perceive material tribulations. When Vigrasena's sinful son Kamsa heard that Bakasura has been slain, he became disturbed, began to think, they were all expert at deception and killing, but are all killed. Therefore, I think only Vyomasura is suitable for this job. He is the son of Sarva Mayamaya, famous for his strength and highly esteemed. Thus, Krishna, born from the hand of womb of Padmavati, brought Vyomasura and engaged in him the job. Flying in the sky and viewing in the whole area, he saw near Kamyavana, Krishna acting beyond his age, surrounded by boys of similar age, sporting in the group, but without Balarama. Seeing that, he began to contemplate. Playing, they call each other names like son of a servant, family of thieves, thief in front of my eyes, and dear to the fools. They are imitating sheep and shepherds and sheep thieves. They cannot say where the stolen sheep are being taken. The shepherds cannot count the sheep since there are so many. The thieves come silently without being seen. The boy with dark complexion seems to be a shepherd. That boy should not come near me since he is more brilliant than 1,000 suns. I should not secretly take him away. He is now inattentive. I can easily steal all the boys who are like his life air wandering about externally. When he becomes overwhelmed with agitation without struggle, I will be able to catch the leader. My master will not be pleased with a half finished job. Thinking in this way, he disguised himself as a coward by acting as a thief and entered their plain. Entering a deep forest, he took the remaining boys who were acting as sheep. Stealing more and more boys, he kept them in a cave and then sealed the entrance with rock, just as an insect seals other insects in its nest. Just as a lion runs after a dog and attacks him, Krishna, knowing the demon was afflicting the innocent boys, approached the demon in agitation and catching him and caused him pain. He threw down the demon and he had taken away the boys because of their small size and blocking his life were treated him like an animal suitable for sacrifice. When the firmness of all his joints was destroyed, Krishna let go of him. Seeing his footprints, he followed them to the door of the cave. Breaking the stone cover, he entered the cave while shining brightly. He destroyed the darkness in the cave and all the darkness of the boys' hearts. The boys whose pain in the cave was not as great as their pain of separation from Krishna on seeing Krishna. Regained their life air, standing up and weeping, the boys caused pain to Krishna. The boys felt the mountain was also crying, as it echoed with the cries of the demon. Krishna pulled them from the cave surrounding him. They became free of sorrow by his touch. Seeing the frightful demon dead, they went to the gathering of their friends with joyful hearts. The boys and the devatas began praising Krishna together. The boys related how they were stolen by the demon. In this way, Krishna entered Vraja. Seeing the dead demon, the devatas, enemies of the demon, showering flowers, revealed the feelings of Krishna. When thieves play in that place, their breathing stops. You have become devoid of life. Vyomatam, what did I do? Finishing the story, the narrator spoke, O king of the cohorts, you have given birth to a son who has killed the three demons headed by Vyomasura while playing. Experiencing the death of Vyomasura directly and filled with great happiness and decorated with smiling faces, they returned to their houses. In this way, killing of Aghasura. As on previous days in the early morning, Madhukanta began speaking with enthusiasm, playing joyously as previously Krishna and Balram, killers of demons, finished their Komara period. The white and black complexioned boys desiring the Pavanda period made even the hearts of sages unsteady by their boyish fickleness. They learned all the sweet arts necessary for performing various pastimes. In this way, the two played, spreading nectar everywhere in the form of the flute music. One time, waking up very early in the morning, the brother of Balarama, the sole protector of the universe, developed a desire by chance. Today, we should have a meal in the forest. Finishing his morning duties, he asked his mother to allow this. Pleasing his mother by his actions, he went out with her permission and with the sound of his buffalo horn woke up his friends and Balarama. Going quickly and sitting at the crossroads, waiting for his friends for a few moments, he looked around. Rising from bed, his friends came running and gathered together. Krishna was waiting, expecting Balrama to arrive in a few moments. When Balrama's servants came, they spoke to Krishna. The servant related the message spoken by Balrama. Oh, my brother Krishna, though I want to play with you, something suddenly come up to prevent me. My maternal uncle of the Puru dynasty has come to see me on surprising business. He remains here, fixed like a tree in the room. I know that you got up early with a special desire. Please fulfill your desire for pastimes. If some obstacles arise at the beginning of a new activity, it will prevent the action from bearing fruit. On hearing the words of servant Krishna, whose lotus eyes stretched to his ears, desiring to play, said to his friends, quickly have your lunch packets containing suitable food tied with a string prepared for sending to the forest. Our mothers will also send us food through some proper persons, making beneficial arrangement for well-wishing friends. Generous Krishna, leading the deer calves, entered the forest. It is said that thousands and thousands of young boys went with Krishna to herd the cows. It is said there were 10,000, a million, or 10 million boys, and the number of calves that Krishna herded was also unlimited. When Krishna started for the forest, a million horns and flutes resounded, and a million calves cried out, mixed with the boys shouting. Thus, Krishna playfully made Balrama's heart and the whole world tremble. Though the boys were beautiful because of jewels, as they entered the forest, they ornamented their bodies with fruits and birds from the trees, used a multitude of grass glass beads brought in packet from their houses after much pleading. Absorbed in playing, they did not consider that one thing was better than another. Only the miser thinking of expense sees the with critical eye. The carefree person not considering expense becomes joyful with what is pleasing. The placing the food packets on the tree branches, they became absorbed in moving here and there as they played while Krishna glanced about. मूष्णन्तो अन्योन्य सिक्यादीन् ज्ञानिम् अराच चिक्षिपु तत्रायश्च दूरात् दशन्तश्च पुनर्ददः. All the court boys used to steal one another's lunch bags. When the boy came to understand that his bag had been taken away, the other boys would throw it farther away to more distant place, and those standing there would throw it still further. When the proprietor of the bag became disappointed, the other boys would laugh. The proprietor would cry, then the bag would be returned. The theft. They stole each other's sticks, flutes, lunches, considering it their own. They would throw them far away. They would then bring them back and offer it. They all engaged in suitable action by the quick movements of Krishna's bro. At every second, knew nothing else. Just as they enjoyed bliss only by being with Krishna, even in separation, they became blissful. यदि दूरं गतः कृष्णो वन सो सो सोपेक्षणायतम् अहं पूर्वम् इति सम्पृश्य रेमिरे. Sometimes Krishna would go to some somewhat distant place to see the beauty of the forest. Then all the other boys would run to accompany him, each one saying, I shall be the first to run and touch Krishna. I shall touch Krishna first. In this way, they enjoyed life by repeatedly touching Krishna. The meaning of this is explained. They touched him. Krishna sent all the boys ahead to look for the calves, and then they went far off to see the beauty of the forest. They could not see him, but they ran towards him, attracted by his fragrance as bees are attracted to the flower, saying, I will catch him first. Having such pride, they felt great bliss. They played. Though the boys were pure, they displayed pride to give pleasure to Krishna. By playing the flute, the same boys indicated they would hide an object. Others blew their horns and made Krishna laugh. Others, considering the horn to have a vulgar sound, rejected those sounds and made sounds like bees and cuckoos. Speed is an object of praise for cohorts, whereas the singing is the occupation of sannyasis. Thus, some boys, thinking in this way, ran after the shadows of birds, thinking they were superior because of being able to imitate various birds. Some boys walked among the swans and cranes and peacocks. Others, in order to show their knowledge of making bamboo puppets, they joyfully moved among the bamboos with the monkey. No, moved among the branches with the monkeys. All the youngest boys were engaged in satisfying Krishna. Some boys who went to the waterfalls and crossed over the river, jumping with the frogs. When they saw their own reflections in the water, they laughed, laughing and playing. They satisfied Krishna. He sent boys to curse the echoes and imitate the reflections on the water and obtained joy from this. The pastimes of the boys following Krishna performed once suppressed the acts of the magician or uh, surpassed the understanding of the Gnanis and devotees. Sukadeva has revealed this clearly. When Krishna desired another type of play and the boys skillful at all had diversified their antics, the younger brother of Balarama, Bala, and younger brother of Baka and Putana Agasura arrived in their path. Like a black cloud suddenly appearing on the sky, he was praised by Kamsa. Oh, my great assistant, give up disappointment and listen. You do not know that by not staying awake, sleeping all the time, as a python, a great problem has arisen. For this reason, I have woken you up. Akash said, Oh Lord of the universe, please give me the order. Beginning from the voice in the sky on Devaki's wedding day, Kamsa told the whole story while praising himself. My assistants, such as Putana, full of poison, found novel ways of deception, but all their endeavors met with failure. Thus, you are my only hope. With your ability to devour everything, he halted, praising him with the words like Ravana's brother, out of fear of inauspicious connotations, and also rejected the word like Vritra among the previous demons. You are firm in determination like Dhruva. You must kill Krishna, the greatest enemy of the enemy of your brother Baka. Though he knew such words were contrary to auspicious and good conduct, Agha quickly spread himself into Krishna's friends and amused the form of a long snake. He remained fixed there as much as he displayed his inborn deceptive nature. Jokingly, the boys described him as a huge snake in front of a huge snake emitting poison like lies awake. If he devours us, he will die like a baka. Saying this and looking at Krishna's face, clapping their hands while frolicking and laughing, they entered the mouth of Agha like a cave in a mountain just as the sun enters the western mountain. The calves laughing with a brilliance followed the boys. Though Krishna did not want them to do so, he did not have the opportunity to prevent them. He was uh, astonished at the determination of his future pastimes and they became remorseful. Just as sun enters into a dense fog and he followed the boys and uh, calves into a demon's mouth. The demons and devatas situated nearby and far off repeatedly being crying out, oh, in joy and sorrow, not knowing the powers of the Krishna, making the same sound that twin groups express different sentiments that of victory and fear. Aga acted like Baka, but they, with the assistance of Yogamaya, full of the power of Nanda's austerities, Krishna, endowed with unlimited power, expanded in the throat of Aga, just as his arm expanded on entering the throat of Casey. After a few moments, Demon's breathing stopped. Then he lost confidence. Thus, then he had the head had spin, and his life had strong departed. His soul, being having associated with Krishna and becoming purified, more waited outside in order to attain an eternal fresh body. Krishna, having killed the demon from the inside, Krishna revived the calves and boys by sweet glance. As the moon emerges from the mouth of Rahu, he emerged from Aga's mouth by the that path of that he had entered. When the city, when they all emerged from the demon like Ganga, flowing from the Himalayas, the demons' effulgence merged into the effulgence coming from the Krishna's body. All the people saw that the light merging from the Krishna's body, just as a spark merges into the lighting of the sun. At that time, the devatas headed by Brahma, standing in front of Krishna, played music and recited praises, showered flowers on the deities of heaven, worshipped Krishna and mocked Aga, expressing Krishna's thoughts. O demon Aga, as darkness disappears with contact of light, you have suddenly been destroyed by contact with me. You know this, so what fault do you have? You swallowed unlimited calves and cowherd boys and not being satisfied, you desire to swallow me as well. I came into your heart to order to satisfy you, but because of being restricted, your life airs desire to come out. Though I did not agree, these airs burst out of your head. What can I do? Taking their lunch packet from the trees, the boys began to move about erratically. They arrived at forest with a fragrant lake full of water in the middle. A huge area in the distance became suddenly smaller. Arriving there, the lotus-eyed Krishna, with a smile on his face, revealed his intents. Oh, friends, look! There is a lake full of lake like a pure mind. The beauty of the lake is in the pond is revealed by the touch of the sunlight. Then beauty increases by the views. Beauty increases by the views. The forest and a lake nourish each other's qualities continually. The forest increases with the fragrance of hundreds of flowers, and the lake increases with various sweet tastes. The bank, whose earth covered by flowers, fruit, and forest, durva, grass, shines with soft piles of sand. It stands at the end of the pure water. It is a place for animals to rest and a dwelling place for millions of trees. I think we should take our lunch here since we are already hungry because the time is very late. Hence the calves may drink water and go slowly here and there and eat the grass. Placing the food on the level ground, the friends first dunked in water and then gathered together. Hearing Krishna in the center, the boys forgot all suffering as a sugar about desire to drink the nectar coming from the moon. The boys stood there desiring to drink Krishna's beauty. Eager to protect the calves, Krishna with great care distributed the fruit to his friends. The forest then took on a new beauty. When all the boys of attractive young age surrounded Krishna, Krishna faced each other. each one and played like an astonishing dancer who moves about gracefully with his flute tucked, his waistcloth and his stick and horn under his arm. He placed some soft food in his left hand. He made his friends laugh by placing various preparations between the two fingers. While the boys were absorbed in this, the calves left the bank and came to covered place with lots of grass. This way, beautiful pastimes of Lord Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.